All right, working more focus stuff with Sunny out in public here. So doing food and e-collar. The food doesn't always hold his attention depending on what it is. So he doesn't have, I would say he's a pretty low food motivated dog. So I've done a little bit of experimenting with fasting him in the morning and feeding him more in the evening, so he's a little bit hungrier throughout the day, and that's been helping. And so he's still getting his same amount, he just may get more as like a dinner and then food throughout the day instead of a breakfast. And so when he comes home, I would keep him on a feeding schedule just so that his body is having the hunger cues that it needs to have, so we can use food as a training tool. I'm just using a mixture of treats here, and he's doing pretty good with it. So what I'm trying to accomplish with Sunny is just making sure he can resolve the e-collar, even though there's distractions amongst him. He does fixate on things, and sometimes it's random. Like, it could be he ignores a stroller but fixates on somebody carrying a shopping bag. So it can kind of be a little bit unpredictable. And so what I want to do is just practice a lot of stepping away, putting that e-collar on, and it turns off when he's in position next to me, when he's focused on me. Good job, buddy. I'm digging my treats around. He's doing really good with it. I also put something called a comfort pad on him. Sunny can work up in levels depending on what's going on, but then he can vocalize. So this comfort pad allows him to, it dilutes the stimulation to some degree. So it doesn't feel as intense. So if I do work up in levels, it just produces a little bit of different sensation. So instead of having 2 points where these normally would be, it's 4. And so it's almost like a bumper. Kind of just helps him a little bit. Okay, put the E back on him. So, and then what I'll do with the slip leash, this is a longer slip, is I'll have the E-collar on, and then I have this slip leash. If I needed to, like, really have a little bit more control, I can do that with less pressure and effort from me. So, Sunny, heel. Good job, buddy. But I really am trying to make sure he's resolving this e-collar, whether I'm holding onto the leash or not. So this is the first time I'm using the comfort pad, and so I'm going to try it for a couple days, see if I like it, see if it works. If it doesn't, we can look at other things. The reason why I'm doing a comfort pad is just because he does vary in stimulation levels, but he will vocalize. And so I don't want him doing that. Sometimes that can come from frustration. Sometimes that can come from discomfort. Sometimes that can come from he's startled. Sometimes he does do it out of protest. So if he doesn't want to come off of something, he will whine and fixate and do those things. So I'm going to do a little bit of tapping here. See if he can figure this out. There he goes. Good. Good boy. So I had to bump him. And that's okay. I want there to be urgency. I just don't want him, freaking out and being frustrated. That's not the goal with training. Good job, Eddie. Good. I do think exercise before training does help him. He has had some time on a trail today, and he went to the park. You don't necessarily need to do that every day, like trail, park, all the things, but I do think something physical in the morning is helpful for his brain to be able to think through things, because he has been fulfilled in the physical sense. Good job, buddy. Good. Nice. Hey, he's doing really good. I'm just working on manners. A lot of this is more of the same, rinse and repeat, but that's kind of the nice thing about where he's at, is he does have an understanding of e-collar, and so we can really just go in and hone in on the problem areas, which is his lack of impulse control, and so putting him in situations that are stimulating, I did see him do a little growl yesterday at a pack of dogs walking. And so we did correct that. That's the first time I've seen him do that. I don't know if you guys have seen that before with him, but he doesn't do that with anybody at the house. And he's actually been pretty good with dogs passing in the neighborhood, but this was a dog walker we were passing, and they had a lot of dogs, and so it could have been something that was intimidating for him. But nonetheless, we correct, and then we go back. Did you get stuck in your lips? Heel. Then we go back to like obedience. So if he growls and say no, and then we're gonna go into heel or sit or down or something, so that we can help him come off of those things that are stressful or exciting or stimulating. So he's doing good. Good job, Sunny. Good boy.